Hello students, this is your instructor for your CPT procedural coding course, and I'm reviewing this quick and short video for you to understand how to answer your discussion questions for week 4. If you have any questions, you can always text me, email me, call your advisor, maybe touch base with your live Q&A session. You can also call the academic coaching. All of this information is posted on faculty availability under instructor's office, and I've also sent you an email. So what are we discussing today? The most important thing I want you to understand and remember is to answer all questions. Sometimes you see questions and they're broken down into two, but you think it's only one question, and that confuses a lot of students, and I understand it can be confusing. But make sure you're answering all of the questions. So read the question and make sure that each question is 1, 2, or 3 questions. We never know. We only know when we read the question thoroughly. Questions for week 4 discussion are related to a medical record for immunization. Make sure you understand that scenario well in order to answer the questions accordingly. I have given you through this video, you will see some examples and scenarios that I'm giving you as an example. Make sure you review them and pause this video whenever you need to, and then review everything again and again before you answer your question. So you have an idea of what am I coding and what am I learning from all this different kinds of scenarios and questions that we are asking you. So question number 1 says, describe the coding path you would take in the CPT manual to make sure you're assigning the best codes for the service. So in reference to this medical record, you are telling me, you are teaching me, how did you find this code in the index? Remember, the first thing is we go to the index, we find the main terms and the subterms. You are giving me that information. What are your main terms? What are your subterms? Where did you find them? What code range did you find in the index, right? And then how did you go to the tabular list, which is the front of the CPT book? What kind of guidelines did you read, and how did you verify that this is the correct code? Okay, so you're giving me this information by reviewing the question well and answering each question according to what they're asking you. Question number 2, would you add any modifiers? Explain your choice. Do you need a modifier? Do you not need a modifier? If you do need a modifier, what modifier is it and why do we need it? Explain, please. Question number 3, explain how the guidelines affected your code choices. Guidelines for medicine section for the scenario are posted on these pages. Please make sure you read these coding guidelines and answer your details with reference to this guideline, not just reading each other's post, but also creating your own understanding and giving me your knowledge, your background knowledge of what do you think. Okay, this is the most important part of this discussion. I'm also posting some information for you to make sure you know where these sections are and you are following them really well. You can see that these are the 2 books we're needing in this course. Make sure you're following only these 2 books. CPT coding is what we are doing in this course. P stands for procedure. So we are only coding for procedures, not for diagnosis. So you don't have to code for any diagnosis, okay? None of the diagnosis we have any interest in this course, because we only want to code for what the doctor did for the patient, which is a procedure. You are also reading the step-by-step book because it's a textbook that explains how to use the CPT book, and I will be posting some pages for you to read. So I have sent you some information on emails, and I've posted the discussion on the discussion blog some information about what kind of videos you can watch to understand this coding process. This is the step-by-step book chapter that I want you to read. These are the pages, and make sure you read these pages to understand a little bit about the immunization coding. Key factors for this case scenario. You are coding for evaluation management. This is a CPT section. You are coding for administration, which is the section from your medicine. Substance, which is the vaccine, the actual substance given to the patient. So we have 3 codes that you need for the scenario. The rest of these things are the keywords that you need to know from the scenario in order to find the correct code. What is the age of the patient? Was any counseling given to the patient? What is the status of the patient? Which is if he's established patient, if he's a new patient. What is the location of the service, which is also a very important keyword for the service, and as well as what type of service was given to this patient. These are all the keywords you need to remember in order to find the correct codes for the scenario. The route of administration is for administration code. You have to know if it was an injection, if it was an intramuscular, intravenous, or a nasal route used to give them the immunization. I want you to review the steps quickly, because remember, the steps for CPT coding are the most important part of a coder, job of a coder, to make sure they are taking the right steps to find the correct code. The first one is always read the medical record, find the correct procedure, the test, the service, the surgery, whatever the doctor did for the patient, correct terms, identify the terms, locate each term in the index, make sure you find the subterms under the main term and the code ranges to go back to the tabular list, find the correct code ranges there, review each code, and then confirm them according to the notes given there, which are also called the guidelines. Okay, this is how we confirm the codes in the tabular list, and we follow these steps for correct CPT procedural coding. This is just an example that I've given you. I want you to pause this slide, review this scenario, review all the codes, see how we found all these codes. You can see we have E&M code, we have a vaccine code, we have several vaccine codes, we have several administration code. Why do we have so many codes, right? So, but when you do this question on your own and review the CPT procedural book, you will understand exactly how you did it. I'm also going to give you a few more tips for you how to do to make sure you understand how to follow the immunization scenario. So remember, evaluation management is a service code. Administration is the sticking or the giving the injection to the patient. Vaccine is the stuff or the substance injected into each injection. ICD-10 code is for diagnostic purposes for a well check. This is the main term you will use in the ICD-10. You don't have to code for this, only if you want to, but it's not a necessity. These are your main terms for your 3 codes that you're looking for in the index. This is additional information that I'm posting for you. Where would you go in the index? What's your main term? And where is the tabular list for evaluation management? And you will do the same thing for administration and vaccine. I have posted the pages for you in order to help you. Where will you locate them in your CPT manual? This is a good example that I've posted for you, and I want you to continue to pause the slides, review the scenario, review the main terms, and establish a good understanding of how to code for immunization cases. Okay, so don't rush to answer your questions. Understand this question really well, and then follow the discussion question. So as you can see, I have highlighted the key terms for evaluation management. 6-year-old, established, physician's office, well child. Remember, the well child check or an annual check or a routine physical examination are all considered to be preventative exam in the CPT manual. So this is your main term to be looked under evaluation and management. It's actually evaluation management is your main term. Preventative exam is your subterm under your evaluation management. So this is just one example of evaluation management. I want you to continue to read the different kinds of vaccines given here and the administration of those vaccines and how to find the codes as per how I explained to you. So these are the answers to the questions. Okay, I want you to hold the slide again, see how you found this code, And these are all the terms you will be looking for in your index and in your tabular. Step 2, same thing. All the vaccine codes you will be finding. This is a very good example. Find these codes, see how they match to the medical record posted, and learn from it. This is the administration codes. They're also referred to as IA codes. These are the administration, which means you injected the patient with the different kinds of injections. They're not always the equal number to vaccine because, remember, we give them in a combination dose. This is a really important two questions that I want you to read. It is, remember, in this scenario, sometimes there's an additional code that we can add according to patient counseling. So the counseling is a very important word here, and that will change your codes from 460 to 461 to 471 to 474. Please read the difference between the two in your guidelines section. See what's the difference, how will you use these codes dependent upon the counseling, dependent upon the age, and how will you use the correct code for administration. Okay? Now remember, ICD-10, I told you, it's your choice. You can put the code in there. You don't have to, but if you do, please review these guidelines before you answer all the questions. Sometimes we need a modifier 25 for this case scenario. Why do we need a modifier 25? And if we do need this modifier for this case scenario, we don't know. I am giving you the option to review the slide. Make sure you understand the need for modifier 25, and if this discussion scenario needs a modifier 25 or it doesn't. Remember, this is one of your questions. Make sure you answer the question and provide me the details of either we need a modifier or we don't, and why or why not. Hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, please text me, email me, and I'll be more than happy to assist. Have a great day.